Hola a todos, Paula Cáceres por aquí. Junto a Súbela estamos en la segunda jornada del Festival Fauna Primavera y hoy día estamos con la banda escocesa Franz Ferdinand. Estamos con Alex y Bob. Hi guys, how are you today?
Great, thanks.
Yeah, very well.
How are you feeling? Are you tired?
No, I'm good. We went down to the festival last night and watched Air, and they were fantastic. They put me in a really good mood, so I'm still in a good mood today.
Yeah. How's the energy for today? Big show.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I always enjoy gigs in Santiago, so
Yes.
I have high expectations of the audience.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because you've been here in Chile several times. You came here after the earthquake in 2010 when like nobody wanted to come, wanted to take that risk. And I wanted to ask you, what does it mean for you to be here? Because it seems that you have a very special bond with your Chilean fans.
I feel a very, very strong relationship here. Yeah, it's quite peculiar. It's a unique place, and the warmth that we feel here is quite astonishing, like very touching actually. And obviously, it's many years we've been coming now. We've been coming since 2006, and I feel like we've grown together over the years and made new relationships. It's a really wonderful experience.
Yeah, and just the Chilean crowds are so great for us. You know, there's such a generous audience, and I always say this about Latin America, but in Chile in particular, is like when fans go to music shows in Chile and in Latin America, they go to participate, and it's like they are also performing at the show.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
and
totally.
it's really special. And musicians, when they come to this part of the world, everyone always says, you know, they love it so much. It really energizes the musicians on stage. It's like
maybe
it feeds each other.
I feel like maybe it's because like Latin American audiences, like we are very aware that bands don't really come here that often, maybe in like a world tour, but like the usual gigs. So the time you like bands come, it's like, oh my God.
I think it's also the personality. I think Bob said a really important word there, which is generosity, and that's I've really felt that over the years. There's been a kindness and a tenderness from all of our fans here in Chile, and wow, they're great ambassadors for your country. Like because we of course go and tell everybody else around the world how great Chile is.
Thank you. That's amazing. I'm glad you're happy to be here. During the wait for this show, our media audience reminded us a lot about the time that you came to the Festival de Viña del Mar, which is like a huge show and televised as well. I wanted to ask you nowadays, how do you remember that night specifically?
I remember it really very, very well. Mainly, you know, it was a big surprise for us. We thought we were just playing a festival. We didn't know. Like we did the first set and we came off stage and they said, so, you know, that was on the telly, and we're like, was it? Like,
we didn't know, because often you get cameras at festivals, and then they were like, and our record label were like, yeah, there was 180 million people watching. We're like,
crazy! Every mom, every neighbor, every kid watching.
But because nobody told us that, we didn't go on nervous or any. You know, we were just completely relaxed and just performed as we would do anyway. And I think that helped. Us.
Totally. Maybe you would have been like a little bit nervous.
It was a good vibe though, like really fun,
Yeah.
like really fun.
And it's called the monstruo, the monster of the Quinta Vergara.
Yes,
Do you know?
the fear monster.
Yeah, because with the musical numbers, there's as well stand-up, and like if the monster doesn't like you, then
It lets you know, right?
Yeah, it's scary. I think it's more scary for people doing the comedy bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your music, because The Human Fear is your sixth studio album, which is set to come out this January 10th of next year, 2025. How did you get to that name, first of all?
Oh, right. So the name came towards the end, and we finished all the songs, and the last song I wrote lyric for was a song called Hooked. Okay. And it starts with the line, I've got the fear, I've got the human fear. And it was sort of like a clue to the rest of the album. And it's often when you finish that you look for a theme. And then I saw that a theme that was running through the record was that each song was kind of about a different fear in a way. And fear is fascinating. You know, we all have fear in our lives, and it's universal. But what's individual is how we respond to it, and that's how we find our personality.
Totally. But what would you say are your biggest fears nowadays, both of you?
Oh, my biggest fear. What's your biggest fear?
It could be general about the world.
I'm scared of snakes, which is
So valid.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty
valid.
common. But I don't know. I'm quite at peace generally. I think I don't know what I'm scared of.
Yeah. I'm scared of snakes and I'm scared of Donald Trump. So maybe Donald Trump eating a snake or something like that.
That would be a scene. I'm scared of white sharks. Like
yeah,
the
sharks
white,
as well. Oh,
it's
no.
a bit ridiculous because it's like the chances, but still, Jaws, you know.
Jaws,
like,
right? Yeah, Jaws. Well, Jaws
terrifying.
really terrified me as a kid because there's a scene where the kid gets eaten on the Lilo.
Yeah.
Well, his mum's going down, like all the people are out, and then the Lilo's just washing up, and she's calling her kid's name, but her kid just gets saying like, Alex. And I remember watching it as a kid, going like,
This is going to happen to me.
"That's me." I could be that kid getting eaten.
Oh
That's
my
scary.
god! Let's hope never.
I'm trying to think what's more scary, a shark or a snake.
Well, a snake, because I mean, it's on land, so it could get you any time. But when you go in the sea, you're factoring in a shark.
Like,
Do you not get
apparently-
land sharks? No.
Maybe a snake is a land shark.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Apparently, in some places, snakes can appear in like the toilet and.
I've thought of another fear. You were talking before the interview started. We mentioned TikTok, and
Are you scared
I
of
started
TikTok?
getting these videos on my TikTok. You know those. I can't remember what they're called, like dragon kind of creatures that you get in the east.
El dragón de Comodoro.
Komodo dragons.
Sí, como.
I get those, and
meat,
they feed them live goats. So
Yeah.
there's like a little goat, really
Oh,
cute,
you
and it's
know.
like meh, oh, that's a little cute, and then this thing comes along and just eats it whole. And I was getting these.
They could eat people, I
I had to train my algorithm to stop giving me them because it was I
Not
would like
interested.
it would just throw me into this shock, and it was just like just too much.
I could have kept living without knowing that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the
Kill the
album.
goat first. Or
I
something.
know it's awful.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go back to the album because this is the first album of the band in which drummer Audrey Tate plays, and I wanted to ask you, what things would you highlight about her role and skill on the drums?
I mean, Audrey's an amazing person and the best drummer in Scotland. I mean, that's why she joined the band. She's got a great enthusiasm, and just when you play with her, everything feels good, and that's what should be in a band. That's why playing in a band with Dino's great, and playing in a band with Julian's great. I'd been in loads of bands with girls before, so it's nothing new to me. Like I like being in a band with girls. It's cool.
Nice, amazing. So let's talk about what ideas we may like, inspiration sounds, because your music has evolved through the years. What are your inspirations? What sounds could we look forward to in this new album?
Oh, well, I think this record, it sounds very Franz Ferdinand, but there are some songs which are very different.
Okay, in what sense?
So like Hooked is like very dry and electronic and kind of mean. Hooked is a funny song. Like I played the riff on a guitar, but it's going through a synthesizer, so it sounds like a synth but played on a guitar. It's sort of weird to describe. So it even though it sounds like a synth, I'm trying to play the meanest heavy metal riff I could play, and and then Black Eyelashes sounds very Greek. What else is different in this record?
There are a couple of songs with little bits of orchestral arrangement in
Oh,
them,
nice.
which we've never done before. I've always wanted to, but we never have. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's amazing to keep exploring.
Yeah, it's a nice collection of songs.
Let's talk about the connection that music. I feel like music is magic. We know we can find sensitivity and we can connect through vulnerability. Would you agree? Like in these trying times, music connects us. What's your stance on that?
I think so.
Yeah, no, music's a huge unifying thing. Like it's I think it's the collective experience of going and experiencing something together and simultaneously. And do you know what really always never fails to have the hair on the back of my neck is when crowds sing along.
Yeah.
And when I'm in a crowd that's singing along as well, it's like some kind of secular church, It's like
Yes.
really brings people together, and it's amazing. I think in fact the Christians were quite smart in introducing hymns, because I think that gave a sense of coherence and community for congregations in church. And I think that carries over into all music,
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it, being together. Also, music music communicates the things that we can't necessarily articulate ourselves just with the words, and it helps us understand our emotions and who we are, you know. And to do that with a group of people together, yeah, that's the holy grail, isn't it?
So exciting to feel that vibe today, tonight in your show. Amazing. Okay, so we have a little bit of time left. So I just wanted to ask you to start closing. What songs would you say are the ones that most resonate with your fans nowadays? You've been like...
Audacious, which was the first single that we've released from this record, has had an incredible connection with the audience. And it does something which we've not really had in the songs before. There's a particular type of connection. It's got a grandness to it, which I've never kind of seen before. Like, we've always had this high energy, but this has a real deep soulfulness about it, which I've really enjoyed playing live. What else resonates?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are older songs that aren't singles as well that people often ask for. Yeah. And what I find interesting...
Outsiders.
Yeah, Outsiders, for example. But what I find interesting is often the songs that fans really want to hear are also my favourite songs. Like Lazy Boy on our last album. Someone was asking for that the other day. A song called Love and Destroy, which was an early B-side, one of my favourite songs. Twilight Omens, you know, that was on a third album?
Yeah.
That was... that's one of my favourite songs as well. So I like the fact that we have a lot in common with our taste. I have so much in common with the taste of our fans.
Like, you also saw the magic in that song.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So after, like, when you're older than 30 and after some years of career, of course, you remember the bands you listened to in your teenage years. So I wanted to ask you, what bands do you remember with like a lot of love and affection that really formed you a bit?
I mean, Bob and I both loved the Beatles when we were little. I loved the Smiths and the Kinks and Queen. You know, all these bands are the bands that I learned to play their songs when I was learning how to play the guitar.
Yeah, same for Queen and the Beatles, huge for me. Nirvana. Pearl Jam, I loved and still enjoy listening to, and then Belle and Sebastian and Mogwai and a lot of Glasgow bands, which was the reason I moved to Glasgow, because I kind of fell in love with so much of the music that came from there.
That's so nice, like the musical scene in the UK, iconic. Okay, so thank you so much for your time, but before we finish, I wanted to ask you a massive favor. Could you send greetings to our community in Chilean slang? I wrote it for you. I don't know if you want to...
How do you pronounce that?
Like, literal, buena cabros, somos Franz Ferdinand, un saludo. It's like, hi guys, we are Franz. Like,
buena cabros, somos Franz Ferdinand.
Un saludo para
su bella radio.